All right, everyone. It's time for another Q&A with Alan and Marshall show. And Alan is live from the Philippines. How you doing today, Alan?
Tired, but it's over midnight. I'm a little jet lagged, but I'm doing good. I'm here in Cebu City, Philippines, which
Right.
is
And we also have a special guest today, and that's not
Alan.
you sitting there. Who is that, Alan?
It is Mr. Shawn LaFave from Alpharetta, Georgia. So, Shawn, tell us about you and your company.
Well, we've been in business for 12 years.
And I didn't say the name of your company, so tell everybody what it is.
Oh, North Georgia Promotions.
Yeah.
We do embroidery, screen printing, everything like everybody else does.
You do promotional and stuff. And
Yep. And
you've actually shown some of your products. You sent a gift box to Marshall and I a year ago.
And we're ready to start sending out some. We're actually going to do a Christmas in July for our A-level clients. So
that's
we want to get on the jump so that they'll see them and then want to order it before they need to.
Well, I've heard from a lot of promo companies that they're really recommending ordering holiday stuff now because of back order situations and stuff like that. Do you find that that's true, Shawn?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's the suppliers think they know when they're going to get their replacement products in, but as soon as they do, it sells out. It's just like the apparel.
Right.
Right.
Okay, well, great. So if you're joining us, we would love it if you would say hello. So please type in your name and where you're watching from. And if you're watching from another country, like Alan is, please let us know. That's super awesome. Last week we had, 4 people watching from different countries?
We had Canada, we had Slovenia, we had, I'm going to blame it on jet lag.
Ireland, right? And Canada and the U.S.
Yes. And then we've had Australia, like 2 weeks ago, we had Australia.
Right.
So we've had them. We've had Italy. We've had the Philippines. We've had have them from all over.
Right. So anyways.
We had Gustav was on too, from Sweden.
Right. So please say hello. That's the whole point. Please say hello, where you're watching from. And then also, if you could please share that you're watching the show. We would really like to boost our viewers and all that stuff kind of helps out. Right. So,
absolutely.
All right. So we got a couple of people logging in saying hi. So Don's here.
Hello, Don.
Giving us a good wave. And Josh is here. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Matt's here from Aiken, South Carolina. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you. And so anyway, we've got a really great show today. And before we get into that kind of stuff, Alan, why don't you kind of let everybody know where you are and what's going on with you? Because I think it's super fascinating.
I mean, the story of why I'm here.
Why you're there? Where are you? You know, you're somewhere on the other side of the planet. So
I am. It is actually Friday night, midnight here in the Philippines. Technically, I'm on vacation. I have been here. This is my 8th trip to the Philippines, but I have not been here in 15 years. So many of you know that I've traveled as a short-term missionary before in my earlier days. And during one of those times, it's hard to believe I actually was thin and played basketball 5 days a week. And I was on a basketball team here, and we were playing at a church, and a very large church. And they warned us, they said, Alan, you know, being an American and being almost 6'3" at the time and all that, they said, be ready, because now Cebu, there's a lot of internationals, but then there wasn't. And there was a little boy who followed me around. He wanted to be pen pals. He ended up writing me. I wrote him back. And within that year, that next year, I saw him again, visited with him and his family. The short of it is we have been friends since 1993. He's now 39. Last time I was here, I was best man in his wedding. His sisters and I and their parents there. I'm now what's called Kuya Allen, which means older brother. And Mark is 39. He was working. He couldn't pick me up from the airport, but they came by last night and saw me. They have 2 kids, Isaac and Cassie. Isaac is his nickname. His real name is Ro Tristan Isaac. But everybody has nicknames here. So I'm here because his youngest sister, who was 1 when I met his brother and family, is getting married, and I'm in the wedding. So all that from like I play basketball, but I love them. They take care of me. I feel very safe with them, and I've had a good time. There's pictures on Facebook already of me at breakfast with Razel, one of the other kids. Mark's oldest sister at Mark's wedding, her and her husband were having their first child, and he's actually named after me.
Wow,
So,
that's great.
I have not met any of them. His first name's Wrench, and his second name is Allen. It's Wrench Allen David. And so he came to the airport with him and picked me up, and it's been good. So we've talked. They knew about me, but there's a picture I just saw on Facebook from breakfast this morning of Razel and I looking at my phone on something, and she's a sweetheart. She's small. I asked her, I said, am I what you thought you would be? She goes, and she's shy, but she goes, you're much bigger. I don't know if that's a fat joke or not, but she's a sweetheart. She can say whatever she wants to Uncle Allen. So now I went from Cootie Allen and Tito Allen, which is Uncle Allen.
That's great. That's great.
So,
well,
yeah,
I'm so happy you made the trip, and your travel actually worked out. We don't have to get into all your travel nightmare stuff, but I'm glad it worked out.
It was rough. Short. It almost got canceled at the airport. Delta and Philippine Air worked it out, and so thank you. It was a good experience. 4 hours on near stroke, but yeah. But it was just one of those things that canceling this trip was not an option.
Right.
So
right.
somehow, if I had to still, I figure if people can pour over the borders of our country, I can figure out a way to get into theirs. So another
yeah.
Boat, something.
Yeah.
But
right. So let's say hi to some people, and then we'll get into the show. So Artem is watching. Good morning, Artem. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And Don says, I love that all your shirts coordinate.
There was a memo.
It's on purpose, so thank you for noticing. Richard says, hello from Michigan. How does Production Tracker log downtime? I'm actually asking for 2 clients. So Richard, Production Tracker logs downtime by it knows when you start and it knows when you end the day. You put your whatever time your shift starts. Let's say it starts at 6:30 in the morning. That's when it starts. And then any time that you're not actually doing positive things, value add activities, counts as downtime. And then that's how it measures it. And so at the end of the shift, you just hit end day, and then it totals everything up. So that's how it works. And if you forget to press end day, you just tell the Production Tracker what it's normally 5 o'clock or whatever, and it'll do it for you.
Good question.
Hurley says, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Chris.
Oh, and by the way, Richard, if these people want a free demo, just go to the Production Tracker website, which is Work on Grid Production Tracker, and you can get signed up and you get a free month. And the KPIs that we'll build for you are for your shop. We have some off-the-shelf stuff, but if you want a particular thing, we'll completely set it up and customize it for your shop. So no extra charge for that, because it has to be about your key performance metrics that you want to track, not what we want to. So it's all custom. Peter says, good morning. And he's here for a couple of days before he's leaving for Berlin to go to FESPA. That's great. That's great. That's the show I've always wanted to go to, just never have.
Never been either. Peter, while you're at home, find out who has M&R equipment in Cebu City, Philippines, so I can go visit them here. I know
Yeah.
there's a couple of them I was told, but I'm having trouble finding them. And email me or text me. So thank you, Peter.
Yeah, and Simon says, good morning.
Good morning, Simon from Techmore.
Ghost is here and says, wow, hi, Shawn, and okay, hi to you from Sweden.
How are you doing, Ghost? Ghost, are you going to FESPA?
What, Alan?
Yeah, I wonder, Ghost, are you going to FESPA in Sweden or in Berlin? I was wondering.
Yeah, maybe he can comment. And Frank says, good morning, guys. Aloha.
Oh, Frank's
What's the equivalent of aloha in Philippines?
Well, aloha means hello. So to say, I don't know hello. Yeah. Good. Well, right now it'd be good evening, and it would be Magadan hapon, which means
I'm sure that's correct, whatever you said.
No, I have to go through because I know Magadan Umaga, which is good day, or good day, and the Magadan Gabin, which is
right.
Good. So
okay, so all right, let's pay some bills, and then we'll come back with some topics. Okay, you ready?
All right.
All right, here we go. All right, we're back.
We need a new co-host.
So Alan, number 2, what's going on over there?
Not much, just hanging out, seeing what people need to know and to help their shops perform better.
This is why you watch the church show.
All right, that's so awesome.
Why would I stay up this late if I jump into this? It's abuse.
Because it's so fun. All right, so our first thing is really what you're doing, okay, which is the importance of vacations. And I think it's a needed thing because we got an echo now. It's a real needed thing because we spend so much time focused on our jobs. We need time to relax, turn the electronics off and all that kind of stuff. And Alan, you've planned this trip that you're on like a year ago, like longer.
Yeah. I planned it over a year ago. I ended up pushing the button on the tickets in January, February. And it's a long one. I'll be here till June 9th, I leave. So it's 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks with travel time. And I don't do this enough. Like I said, I used to come about every year, every other year. But, right now I want to come back in a month. But that ain't going to happen, but I want to. And this is one where I've actually planned, Marshall. Like anytime I'm in Florida on vacation, family, I still work. I still answer my phone. I still have that here. It's been nice where the office did call me last night in the middle of the night. I didn't even look to see who was calling me. I just hit the phone off. I was not going to answer it because then it would have been a $7,000 phone call. It's been nice to unplug. I've had a couple of texts, a couple of emails, and I have started to answer, and I got into it. I forwarded them on to either Alex, my boss, or them, and they've done great about doing that. So I'm trying very hard to unplug. It's very difficult in sales because we never told you to unplug. But it is important, and even these last couple of days on the long flight, the nice thing is I didn't even order the internet to check emails and stuff. My phone was off. It's on airplane mode. I didn't even pick it up.
Right.
So, and that was actually nice. It was different. That was weird, but I could feel myself I think it helped relaxing just to get here. So, we'll see how it goes in 2 weeks.
Yeah, my favorite type of vacation is no electronics. I don't even wear a watch. at the beach. Don't even wear shoes. You're just like hanging out, just
Yep.
doing nothing, like reading a book, listen
I
to the waves, having a beer, that cooking, like fun with family. That's the best. What do you like to do, Shawn?
I just like to travel. We're actually looking to plan a trip in September to Maine, and just travel up there and eat a buttload of lobster.
Great, great. And so you guys watching, hey, put in the comments your last vacation or maybe the vacation that you have coming up. Very curious about what everybody likes to do. Mine is always the beach. That's kind of what we like doing. We're beach people. But everybody relaxes a different way. It'd be interesting to find out what everybody does on their vacations.
Yes.
And especially if you've got one coming up, that would be really kind of cool to hear.
I think it's important too, and I'm hoping, like I said, I'm only day 2 into this. I've had one night here. Yesterday I arrived, and you're in a fog, but I'm hoping by the end that there is a lot of recharging, and then when I get back, aside from the jet lag, really I'm hoping to hit the ground running for the most part. I have a lot going on, and sometimes I think just our society. And, when you own a business, when you're focused on stuff, it is hard, especially with technology the way it is now, that we're surrounded by so much information. It's just mentally exhausting. And I don't think, to quote Greg Atkinson, we don't know what we don't know. And I don't think we know how mentally exhausted we are all the time until we're not.
And you're so right, Alan. And it's so hard to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I do every day is around 6:30 or 7, my phone goes on the charger and I don't even look at it. And so emails that are coming in or text or whatever, I'm really not, or I might glance, but I'm really not answering anything because I don't want to get people in the habit of letting them know that at 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to respond to an email. And so I think that's really kind of important to do that. What do you do, Shawn, to kind of manage your work-life balance?
And Shawn, I got a question as a business owner and a commercial that, I've always heard, it's hard. You just can't take a vacation. There's, it's not a good time. Well, there's never a good time.
Right.
Have you found that?
Oh, most definitely. And you don't want to take too long of a vacation because then you think everything's just going to fall apart even worse because you've got to be there for it. Well, I'm going to force myself with our vacation, and then we've got a PPAI regional event in October, and then there's another show in October. I thought somewhere else, but there's like 3 things going on. I'll be out for like 3 weeks.
Furniture United is in October.
That's right.
In Vegas,
right.
And Fort Worth is in September, and I think that's going to be the biggest show of the year, personally.
Yeah.
So.
But you just got to do it, and there's things that aren't going to get done, but if they don't get done, it's not earth shattering. It's going to happen, and people learn how to work around you not being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important as a business owner to have the ability to walk away and do stuff and delegate and have people trained that they can handle stuff, how to solve a problem, how to sell, how to put an order in, how to ship, how to do whatever that you're doing. You need other people doing that. And, or you're just going to have to tell people, hey, I'm down for a week or whatever, and I'll catch you back when I come back. Right?
Yeah. We've got a great director of operations in Adam Campbell, and I mean he's basically a duplicate of us. So we know that anything that happens when we're gone, as long as he's here, we'll be good.
Good, that's great.
Do you guys find too? This is a good way for your people too. Sometimes when the safety net is that when Shawn's there or other owners / upper management are there, that the people that you give a responsibility to, they're just almost afraid to make a decision because they know the safety that's there going, hey, I'm going to do this. Is that right? Yeah. and we think that's fine. They're making the decision, but now with you gone, I think it's a good way. It would be a good way for them to say, look, use your best judgment. You might make a mistake, but that's okay. Make sure the product gets out and well, and if there's a problem, handle it.
Yeah, we encourage everybody to make a mistake.
Yep, good.
It's the easiest and best way to learn. Unfortunately, sometimes it costs money to learn, but it ultimately will save you money in the long run once they feel comfortable enough to make their decisions.
Yep, absolutely.
So that is about having the psychological safety where if something happens, you're not fired for it, that you're going to,
Right.
We'll chalk that up to tuition as long as you don't keep making that same mistake over and over and over again. That's a different situation. But if you're learning from it and, we can grow from that, then we'll chalk that up to life and move on. And I think that's really important.
Marshall, Shawn, do you guys feel that when you're on vacation, it does force that to happen to some?
I feel they step up.
You should be able to not be. You should have people train you to the point where you don't have to be there. That's how I've always thought about it. And I want things to happen in a certain way, and everybody should know that. And you shouldn't have to be there for those things to happen. If you want to read about, there's a really great book by Mike Michalowicz who wrote Profit First called Clockwork. And he talks about that a lot in the book, about how to, build that into your company. So if you're looking for a resource for that type of thing, that's a book you might want to check out.
Yep.
Hey, we've got some comments, so let's get to some. And where are we? So Lyra says, good morning. By the way, Lyra, Alan is in Cebu City. So I don't know if you caught that.
Lyra is in Davao, which is in Mindanao, about 2 hours. I think it's a 2-hour flight. I've been in Mindanao, not Davao.
Terry's laughing out loud, and and Lyra likes the filter. So good job with that, Shawn. Hurley's cracking up here.
Everybody's laughing but me.
Eric says, "What a time to randomly tune in." Thanks for watching, Eric. Appreciate you.
Very much.
Gusta says, sorry, it was planned, but life comes in and mess it up. There's a good thing with lots of work, and I was so looking forward to this.
Good.
Right? Simon says, my late partner, Nick, nicest person I've ever known, always told me, take a little of your retirement every year. Don't wait until it's too late to enjoy it. He died of cancer in 2010 at 63. That's a great point, Simon.
Absolutely. And Simon is right. I had the pleasure of meeting Nick before. He was an amazing guy.
Right. Hurley says, it's been so long I can't remember my last vacation, which means you need one, Hurley.
Absolutely. Especially you have younger kids too. Don't miss that time with your family.
Yeah.
You're laughing
because you called them kids.
Just Costa Rica for later this summer. First one in 5 years. No phones or emails. I've been to Costa Rica, Josh. It's really nice. I did the zip line through the jungle. That was a lot of fun. So
I did the zip line. I was right next to Manuel Antonio Forest National Park. It was beautiful, but I did 5 days of fishing and went sail fishing for my 50th birthday.
You're a big fisherman.
Yeah, actually left, talk about unplugging, left SGIA show early to go to Costa Rica because it was planned before.
Kim says Newport, Huntington Beach is always my go-to, only a 5-hour drive now. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Now that you live in Phoenix. Take the RV to the beach for a week and at least once every month. My happy place. Just booked a UK in Florence in October. Always plan a couple of days downtime after international trade show. If you're already traveled, take the extra time to decompress.
Simon is at Florence, Italy, or Florence, Alabama. So
probably if he's in the UK, I'm sure it's Florence, Italy.
I know that's Simon. I have to rib Simon like that because he is hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
And then Terry says fishing, relic hunting, metal detecting, firing range time. Great. Love those.
Yep.
That's great. That's great. So let's get to our next topic, which is just your what you see, and we always hear about COVID everywhere else, and you've been traveling. So give us the report, Alan.
So the little bit I've talked to, like I said, I was next to a vice president of a telemarketing company. So we were talking about it a little bit. I did have a WhatsApp text conversation with our Easy Ways dealer over here in the Philippines. That would be Gravities. They're also the Gildan dealer. So Alvin, a little shout out to there. He said that some of the shops, the bigger ones, are slower. Some have shut down, have not come back. I am seeing, while in America, we have, we forget that mask mandates, there's no real mandates. They're optional. Some people wear them, some people don't. I've been having a little trouble here on the flight over in the Philippines. It is mandated, not a problem. I hopefully you saw the picture. I was representing the Q&A with the Ellen and Marshall mask, sponsored by GSG. I posted that on LinkedIn and Facebook. But in the Philippines, outside you don't have to have a mask, but on inside in the hotel we do. I tend to forget it, have to go back to my room. I've just gotten used to not do it. But I have seen, like, on places where, and it's hard here because they did have a large typhoon come through right around Christmas time. I'm not sure if some shops are closed down because of COVID or because of the pandemic or economic stuff, and or because of the typhoon. The people I've been with have said most of it is because of the pandemic and just not starting back up. I did notice flying in the ports, because the Philippines is a port. It's all ocean. It's an archipelago. So there are ports in Cebu City, Manila, almost every large place. And there are ships waiting in line. You can see them just parked out there to get in. So it's not just a USA. It's not it's not a first world problem. It is everywhere. The prices have gone up. The exchange rates, I think 52 to 1 here now. And they're feeling it also. Now, to us, because of the exchange rate, I bought coffee for everybody. It was like 3 or 4 of us, and it cost me $5, where one of them that I got, like a mocha, cafe mocha, would have been $5 in the States.
Right.
So some things are relative, but it's still more expensive than this. So that's the one jet lag day border report that I have beyond the border report. So, while it was, I dare to say comforting that it's not just us, but it's scary that it's not just us.
Mm-hmm. So we've got some folks on here, Hurley and Ghosta. Can you give us a report about COVID where you live? What's going on there? Vaccinations or masks and stuff? We'd love to kind of hear that, just because I think it's really important that we hear what's really going on in the ground and not what's going on in the media, because often those are two completely different stories.
And I will say here, from what I've seen, that vaccines are available here. I don't know if they're free. I know some companies have. Mark, he works for a large communications company here. His vaccines were free for him, his son, and those that were older. Some are there, but they've had Pfizer and Moderna here from the States. They have had, what is Russians called? Sputnik, I think, and the one from China. And the people I know have always been leery of them and refused to take them. So, but the government has been trying to get it out. Like I said, it is a huge populated country, a lot of rural in the provinces. So I think it's taken some time to do that, especially when you're in a congested city where I think people are on top of each other also.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So we got some comments. Ray's here. So greetings, Screenlings, as always. And Chris says it's monkeypox now. So sorry, I got the term wrong.
And what I don't think if people realize, Marshall, did you realize that the vaccine for monkeypox, what it is? It's
I don't know, banana.
Banana daiquiri. Multiple with more alcohol. No, I was reading that.
Guess what? I'm not getting monkeypox.
Exactly. Can we do a banana margarita, something like that? So I was reading the monkeypox, which is harder to transmit than COVID, I guess, is the vaccine. So if you've had smallpox vaccine, then Marshall, you and I are old enough, and Shawn, we have the little mark on our arm, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was part of the smallpox vaccine. So I'm like, monkeypox, do your worst. So
yeah, great.
And we have few examples of smallpox vaccine in storage in the United States too. So
right. So Hurley says it's Josh Wiley's birthday. So happy birthday, Josh! If you're still watching, appreciate you, buddy. Hope you have a good day.
Happy birthday.
And he also says that he hasn't heard about COVID in 3 weeks here.
Until we mentioned
so,
it.
And Chris is in Saskatchewan, so he's up
Aberdeen.
Above the border.
Chris, what does it say when something goes good? You were saying, remember what was not what if a guy, but there was something we meant to ask on that. But
I don't remember what he said.
Yeah.
So Ghosta says, wife got her 4th shot and they promised a 5th this fall, and we do okay in Sweden.
Yeah, I've had 4. I had to have the 2nd booster to come here.
Yeah, and Ray says smallpox vaccine is about 85% for monkeypox, but there are other therapeutics that work well. It's actually hard to catch.
Yes.
And he says it's tickety-boo.
Tickety-boo, that was it. And what is that? What does that translate to in the regular English? Tickety-boo.
You're a jerk.
Yeah, tickety-boo, that was it.
That's stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So help us with the term to use that in. I'm going to
So
try to make.
like Shawn's in near Atlanta in Georgia in the South, and so that's
hey y'all.
Hey y'all, yeah,
Hey,
or
yeah.
Any type of form of that. So
Yeah.
Coming up, aces. Right.
That noise was my phone falling and breaking. No.
Yeah.
Oh, coming up.
And Ray says headed to Mexico in a few weeks and trying to get a grip on the COVID issues there.
Let us
so
know.
Anybody who's been to Mexico, let's let Ray know what's up.
Ray, you tried to call me. You know I'm over here. We've talked. You said you wanted to talk to me, so you've been over here. You know the time, so probably WhatsApp or Messenger. I can do calls for free. That way, if you want to call me during Philippine time, normal Philippine time.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, let's show off some stuff from GSG. So we want to look at the Pulse real quick, and we want to talk about this week. They have a really great GSG green screen program. So they have 3 ways to buy screens, and you can save. You can save some money here. So this is in their Pulse magazine. So if you go to gogsg.com, you can get this and download it, and it's 24 pages of savings. We talk about this every week. And here you can scan this QR code, right? And you're eligible for to learn more about the green screen program, and give us a call, and you can save up to 15% off on new. Or 30% off of old frames. So very interesting, and I think that you can get a lot of savings in it. And see if I can put them in a little bit.
Then when you toured GSG, you actually saw their stretching.
Yeah, I went there. It was fascinating. They got this really huge room size deal where they put the screens in and it just completely blasts them clean. It's just amazing. So kind of interesting. So anyway, we'd love for you guys to check that out. And of course, where you go is show that gogsg.com, and check out their Pulse magazine. You'll find some awesome stuff.
I also know from talking to them about this trip, they actually sent me, if I was close, a customer of theirs that they actually orders from GSG in Laguna, which is south of Manila, so not where I'm going to be. I did have a shirt for the wedding I'm here for, called the Barong, and it was actually made in Laguna. So,
Great.
But so GFG is not just in the U.S. They are a global company also, and so I was glad to hear that.
Yeah. Cindy, by the way, says, good morning, y'all. Out of town, but just wanted to pop in and say hi. Have fun. Thanks, Cindy.
When I was with my friends here, I said y'all a couple times, and Rizal, the little girl, my niece, had to ask what that meant, and I
Right.
So,
Ray says, I got an email with your number attached down. It had a nasty Trojan attached.
are you serious?
That's not good. Cindy says that they got their Pulse in the mail. Thanks, GSG. There you go. Thanks, Cindy. It's the network in that part of Asia. It happened to me all the time in the PI. What is PI? Philippines?
Yeah. PH usually. I think you hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay. So maybe you shouldn't be sending out emails, Alan.
Ray, text me and let me know which email address. Was that my Easy Way one? Because that usually gets flagged through our firewalls.
Right. Okay, so let's move to our next deal, which is something Shawn wanted to talk about, which is automating processes. And I'm a big process nerd. So I think this is going to be a good topic for everyone. So Shawn, why don't you just kind of lay the groundwork of what you're looking for?
Well, there's only so much you can improve your processes. There's only so much someone can get done during a day. I'm looking for, the silver bullet or the program or the app that will help create a better contact automation, a better, always a touching type situation where it's always going to get sent out on a regular basis, and you can automate a lot of that, the messages to go out at different times and make it look like it's actually coming from a real person, not just a email machine like MailChimp or whatever.
Yeah. Well, so what you're talking about is inbound customer requests, and then there's an answer going out. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that would be good too if it works with it. But more like once you deal with somebody, maybe you quote them, then they go into a process or an automator that will actually send them something out in a couple days, and then every 6 months after that, if you don't contact them, and that type of thing.
Okay. Well, I think the thing to look for here is maybe on your inbound stuff, maybe there's a Zapier link that you can connect to your outbound drip marketing program, whatever you use, MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever. So it's connecting the dots on that, and that triggers the action. So if anybody that's watching that's done something like that, that'd be great to kind of find out what you guys do. But I do know there's stuff out there, and I think it's you have to kind of like it's a logic problem. So it's if this then that. So what do you want to happen? What should and you got to like map it out. So in a process scenario like this, what is the input? What's the first thing? What's the next step? What's the next step? And then how are we connecting that? And then just look at the software for that. For example, on my Atkinson Consulting Facebook page, somebody wants to contact me on Facebook, there's an automated sequence that happens, and it gives you answers to the point where it doesn't understand what you want. And then it says, would you like to talk to a human? And that's when I actually get a message.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's just a sequence thing that I set up using a program that off the top of my head I can't remember. But it'll come to me here in a minute. But
we use Monday.com, and there are
Yeah.
a lot of automation buildings within that. I guess it's just something that helps maybe bring that as our production management software and a CRM together, and just make, you want the perfect tool. Just someone give it to me.
Well, I don't think there's a perfect tool out there, and I think most people Frankenstein some stuff together,
Yeah.
right? Which is what Zapier does, right? So Monday.com is that's a big interface tool, right? And I bet they have a host of things that connect to that. So I would look in their world, in their environment, what things are available for that. And I think probably Mother Google knows the answer more than I do. So, all right. So Richard says, only so much, not in the way to frame this problem in your mind. Love Richard. Consider a video response. He's a fan of dub.com. He was talking about that the other day on the Shirt Lab Tribe Q&A. And I meant to actually look that up, and I didn't. So
I at least got it pulled up.
I use Soapbox all the time, but maybe you could do an automatic video that's already set up instead of a email response. That might be interesting. Daryl says Zapper. I think he means Zapier. Right, there you go. And then Colette's here. Hey, Colette.
From
How you
Florida.
doing?
Colette.
So Colette says, isn't automated processes more important than automated communication? I don't like automated communication because it wrecks our ability to have a true relationship built with our clients. I would much rather have it systemized so that when one step in production is complete, the next can be scheduled automatically. I think, that's completely valid, Colette. And for Shawn here, he's talking about automated communication where something happens because that's what he wants to solve. You're more process oriented, and you can have automatic processes also. And but it's all about the same thing, which is, you want something to trigger the next result. For example, for communication, you could, when you ship an order to somebody, 3 days later, they get an automated thing that says, hey, how is your order? Please leave us a review, right? That's automatic communication. That means that you don't have to do that. You're checking a box here that says, hey, we followed up, and it's going back to you. The response is going back to you. So if something happened, hey, the box got banged up in the delivery or something, you'll know it, right? And because they'll report it, right? A lot of times we don't do the follow-up. How many follow-up emails do you send out a week, right? This could be a way that you could do that for every order if you just build out the automation. And I think that's something to look at, right? Do you do any type of automated end of ordering into the process thing, Shawn?
And Shawn,
We actually go ahead.
I am gonna leave and say goodbye to everybody since I'm gonna fall asleep in a minute. So
okay. Hey, Alan, take care. And just everybody doesn't know, it's way past midnight for Alan, and he's been traveling. So we're going to give him a pass.
Thank you very much, Shawn. Again, appreciate you. Phil, again, you're doing a great job.
Enjoy yourself.
And then you always have Big Head Alan there.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a great week, everybody. We'll try to log in next Friday. I'll be in Bonton Island, I think, next Friday.
Right.
So we'll see. But all right, talk to you later.
See you, Alan. Hey, for everybody watching, we're still going to be here. So
Thank you. Yes.
See you, buddy.
Oh, that's nice. That's what I need to see. I'm right here.
Yeah. All right. So now we can talk about them.
We did before, though.
Yeah. Are we wearing the same shirt?
No, mine says Panama.
Oh. Anyway, so do you do any sort of automated thank you, please leave us a review, any of that stuff?
Yeah, we set that up in the Monday.com automations. So when a job is completed within the with all the tasks, it'll then kick out a email after it's been delivered saying, hey, hope everything was good. if everything was great and you think we earned a 5-star review, please click here to do so. And if not, let us know what happened, and we'd be glad to rectify it for you.
Yeah. So if we didn't hit 5 stars, we want to know why.
Yeah, I don't want to get those less than 5, if possible.
Good. That's good. And how many people do one or the other? What's your actual action rate?
I would say we probably get about 50% actually going in and giving a review when we send that out. Now, granted, we're stacking the deck a little bit because there's certain people where you just have those customers will never give anybody a 5-star review. We're just not sending those to them at that point.
Oh,
just because we're not saying, hey, we'll give you a discount if you give us a 5-star rating, because that's not right. But we're also not going to just jump into the lion's cage.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So I'm a big fan of processes and automating things, and it can be different sequences, right? So I know, like, ShopWorks, for example, your tracking numbers get automatically sent out when stuff happens, and then there's other things that you can do. I know there's people that have used Zapier in conjunction with Typeform or Jotform, where your customer fills out all the cell information for an order, and that automatically bloops into the order entry. So there's no order entry for an order. There are shops that do that. And you can do a lot of different things just with how you're working. I know Daryl, who's on here, one of the things he does is he gets all his artwork and everything automatically sent to Graphic Source to complete the art. They do all the work for him and getting everything approved, and then everything is automatically dumped back into a server so he can burn the screens. That's part of an automated process that he's built to have things run so he doesn't have to touch anything. So so it's really just looking out for what do you want to do, and how can we not use a person in the office for something, right? This could be with a VA, a virtual assistant. This could be with a software. This could be with an outsourced partner like Graphic Source. So it's just a matter of what is the result that you want, and then how or what kind of mechanism are you using to trigger the result, right? And then, of course, it might take lots of tweaking because nobody hits the home run on the first pitch. Okay. You're going to have to kind of play with it a little bit to get it to work. But once you get it solid, then it's forever. That's how it's going to work. Right. So it's worth the time and investment. But you kind of map things through, a whiteboard or a yellow legal pad is really good for that. What are you going to say, Shawn?
I'd be interested to hear if anybody listening has a process that they feel is just a home run every time, and it's not something that is overly difficult, but it covers a need for that business. I'd love to hear what they're doing or who they're using.
Well, what process are you really wanting to solve?
We've trimmed everything down as tight as it can be. We've got people cross-trained on everything, but there's always just so much minutia that gets you bogged down that you'll spend 3 hours on something like this and reaching out and contacting or following up. And I just know there's got to be a more simplistic way to do it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like design your own adventure. What do you want to happen, and what are the tools out there, right? So, let's see. Richard says if you go to dub.com/Gittimer, meaning Jeffrey Gittimer, you'll get a discount. So thanks, Richard. And then Daryl says having rules in place makes it possible. Exactly. So what are the boundaries for what you're doing, right? I think that's really going to help you with your process, any process. And so it's exactly this, but not that. What are the rules, right? And then some things you're going to have to do because it's out of bounds, out of scope. Yeah, we have to tackle that, but everything else can go, right? So think about that type of thing, right? How are you going to get faster by doing less?
Oh yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting. All right. So we'd love for you guys to leave some comments on that. Anything else on that, Shawn?
No, I think that's good. I'd like to see what people have to say.
Yeah, good. So our next thing that I really want to kind of hit on is just the importance of company culture. I've been talking about that a lot this week with my coaching clients and some of the other things I've been on. And I know that the main thing here is, especially in this industry, we're having a really hard time finding people. And we all know that that's true. But you know what I don't hear a lot about is what we're doing to keep people. What is your on-purpose employee retention program where you're doing something on purpose to make your employees happy, which is letting them know that you appreciate them, doing stuff for them, like having a lunch or whatever, saying thank you, celebrating birthdays, sending thank you notes to their home, maybe giving them a bonus or a raise or more training, more responsibility, more engagement, that type of stuff. What do you do there, Shawn, for your company?
Well, we got a thing called Nothing Bundt Cakes out here. They have these little miniature bundt cakes that are outrageous. So we typically go get a dozen of those every birthday. But we had one of our employees just doesn't like cakes. She likes pie. So Adam actually went home that night and made a sweet potato pie and brought it in the next day for her so we could celebrate her birthday.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, just having the recognition to it, that you can never say thank you enough during a day. And a lot of times your busyness prevents you from being thankful to everybody. So when somebody does something that is just above and beyond what they typically are asked to do, we give gas cards, grocery cards, anything like that, just to say, hey, you know what? And we recognize them at the employee meetings, and because we want everybody to know, hey, this was done and it was really appreciated, even though they didn't need to do it. We are so thankful that you can and that you thought about doing it, and here's our appreciation.
Yeah, I know. I talked to a shop the other day that did a whole round of gas cards for everybody. I think it was like $20 on the card, and they just gave everybody. It's like, no, this isn't going to fill up your tank, but it's going to help, and just for all their employees, just to say thank you, and because everybody's got to drive into work. And just recognizing the fact that gas is crazy and they're doing stuff. And, I think it really matters when the company does things like this. So you should budget for it. You should be planning on it. You should be thinking about it. And another thing I think that really matters that often gets overlooked is an employee review, right? And I know there's a lot of shops out there, and maybe you're guilty of that if you're listening, where when's the last time you had an employee review? And I've been to some companies where they haven't done employee reviews for 3 or 4 years, right? And this tells the employee that they don't matter, right? People want to know, are they doing a good job? People want to know how to advance, how to make more money, all that type of stuff. And having an annual review is really important. The shops that I ran, we did an employee review for every single employee, including me, twice a year, every 6 months, right? And the reason I like doing every 6 months is because, can you remember what you were doing a year ago? Not really, right? But you can remember probably 6 months ago what was going on. So I think if we do it every 6 months, that allows things to be fresher, and we can also focus on what we want to accomplish from now to 6 months from now. And then when we have that review 6 months from now, hey, what did we accomplish? And that kind of keeps everything moving ahead and improving, right? And people want to know how they're doing all the time. It's up to you as a leader to have that kind of discussion.
We've actually added a little review process of our own for them to fill out before the review, asking questions about us. And what are things that you'd like to do, or there's things that you'd like changed. It's just another way to show them that we're actually listening, and we want to keep them happy.
Right. It's really important. And because right now, what is your cost to replace somebody?
Right now it's priceless.
Yeah, it's really so keeping people happy, I think, should be on the top of your list, and that should be something you're doing on purpose and not an accident, right? So and company culture is so key, because what we want is a really fantastic team that gets along, that accomplishes stuff. And your job as a leader is to elevate that performance. And I think you really guys should be doing that more. Would love to find out what you guys do for company culture. What is your go-to strategy to improve that? Right. I think it's important. So Shawn, what do you guys do there at North Georgia?
We do the annual reviews. Actually, their first year, we do 4 different reviews, because we want them to know, hey, you're on the right path, or you need a correction. Then into it, yeah, you're doing great. Now we'll expose you to more. And then at the end, it's just like, okay, you're feeling good, comfortable. Let's start going into more and increasing knowledge that way. But one of the things that we found when we were trying to hire is, we're a small business and we can't afford the health insurance, like to offer a health insurance policy to our employees. But we were finding on exit interviews on people that we've been interviewing, if it wasn't something that they're looking for, and majority of them are saying, yeah, we're looking for a benefit, and there's really nothing out there for a small business under 100 employees that really makes much sense. So we created an additional taxable amount that we just added to their pay scale on a week or on a per paycheck basis that says health stipend. They can use it to pay for an ACH health plan. They can use it for doctor visits, prescriptions, or whatever they want, because it's taxable income. They can use it for whatever, but they see it as a benefit that's not included in their hourly, and it makes them a little bit more happy with that.
Yeah. You want to spend on healthcare or a 6-pack of Bud is your choice.
Well, there's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, whatever. And I think that's really important. And you're addressing a need, and people like that. And, so good for you guys. I really like hearing that. So, all right. Hey, we just got a couple minutes, and I just want to wind it up talking about Shirt Lab Chicago, which is coming up. Our website went live the other day. And so let me find the right deal here. So we have some fantastic speakers for this event. The event is going to be July the 22nd, and it's going to be at a place called Venue 610, which is a giant high-rise right on Michigan Avenue. It overlooks the park where that Married with Children fountain is, if you're familiar with Chicago. So it's right there on Michigan Avenue. We've got a fantastic lineup for this event. Jay Bassell is just super awesome. He brings lots of energy. Ron Walia, who's the head guy at Supercolor, is going to do a whole thing on branding. Tom's doing a whole thing on doing events. He just did his mac and cheese festival, and he's going to talk about how to put events on so you can take that back to where you live and learn how to do it and the reason why he's doing it. So that's going to be really great. Don Sikuli is going to talk about sales and marketing and sales. I've got a whole thing on NFTs. Matt Marcotte, who does a lot of work with Printavo, and he also has his own shop there in Chicago. He's going to be talking about ways that you can combat inflation in your shop, and I'm sure that's a pretty timely topic right now. Renee Rebar is going to talk about how to close a sale in 10 minutes. Kevin Baumgart is going to talk about how to build a sales team. I think that's something that we all want, is new sales. And of course, the master, Richard Greaves, is going to have a whole thing on the foundational things that you should be doing that you constantly forget. So it's a great lineup. And if you haven't been to a Shirt Lab live event, you're truly missing out. There's a lot of fantastic networking, and it's just truly remarkable. Shawn, you went to our event in Atlanta. What did you think about that event?
It was drinking from a fire hydrant. I mean, there was so much good information that got out, and you base them on a basic subject category throughout it, and the question and answers are awesome. But it's networking a lot with the other attendees too. That's tremendous. But it's a blast. It's well worth it. Yeah.
And we've also want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, our diamond sponsors, Jerseys, S&S, of course, GSG, Rock, Supercolor, Easy Way, Equipment Zone, Graphic Source Stalls, Chipley. Chipley is a new sponsor this year. They do online stores. You should check them out. All Made, M&R, Printing United, Buckets of Ink, Peerless, Cobra Flex, of course, me and Tom. And then we've got our media partners, Screenprinting, Images, Impressions, Graphics Pro, and the Apparel. So these folks are how we put this event on, and because it's quite expensive, and there's a lot that we're doing, and so we really appreciate them, and we appreciate their financial support. So thanks. So anyway, you just closing things out. Really appreciate you, Shawn, and everything you do. You watch us all the time, and you're a member of Shirt Lab Tribe, and we wanted to have you on today just because I thought it'd be really fun.
Well, it
appreciate you helping out.
And Alan wants to say something too. Thank you for having me, and it's really fun. Now I'm going to go back to sleep.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, Shawn, before you go, if somebody wants to get a hold of you to find out how you can help them with anything, what's the best way?
You can email me at Shawn, just like it's spelled on the screen, SHAWN, at ngapromotions.com, or you can message me on LinkedIn or Facebook.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate you. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure everybody's got plans for that. And what are you doing anything fun, Shawn?
I think I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a nice restful weekend, but something I'll probably end up on the Big Green Egg.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing some cooking, and then I'm taking a bunch of kids to go see Top Gun tomorrow. So
that should be fun.
At the IMAX. I feel the need for speed. All right. Hey, thanks everyone. Appreciate you, Shawn. Thanks, Alan Howe, for tuning in from the Philippines. And we'll catch you guys next week. And our special guest is going to be Tom Rowan, and we're going to be talking all about marketing. And we'll get Alan back on. And I doubt Tom's going to have a fun banner thing like Shawn did, but maybe we can ship that to him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Thanks.
You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you later.
See you later.